Okay, so next up is inserting our Bitmoji, but before we do that, I wanted to kind of share a quick point with you, and I wasn't really thinking about it earlier. So if you do decide to save your background as an image, make sure you don't have anything that's animated. So as you can see, my goldfish, I wasn't really thinking about it. Then when we saved it as an image for this, you can see the goldfish obviously are frozen. So don't put anything that's animated in until after you save your image as a background. And again, that's just an optional step. You do not have to do it. So I inserted a chair because I wanted to kind of show you a couple things with Bitmoji. The first thing I want to tell you is make sure that you're using Google Chrome to make this. So please use Google Chrome as your browser, at least when you're doing this. You also need the Bitmoji extension. So right here, this little square. If you don't have that, you need to download it. So go to a new tab, type in Bitmoji, and then you want the Chrome extension. And this will be prompted to, you'll be prompted to download it. In my case, it says remove, but yours will say download. Once you download it, you will actually have to click up here and sign into your Bitmoji account. So whatever account you use to sign in from your phone, you need to sign in on here. Remember that you cannot edit your Bitmoji on your computer. You can only edit it from your phone. So if you want to change your outfit or whatever it might be, you're going to have to do that before you use it from your computer. So when we're here, I just hit my extension. It will have my Bitmoji show up. And you can hit pose or type in pose. This will give you a lot of your basic standing ones. And all you have to do is click and drag it and drop it right into your virtual classroom, or you can hit Control click and save image as. So what's nice about this is you're not locked in necessarily. So if I don't want her pointing at the poster, I want her actually pointing at the board, but I don't want her over here because I don't want her up on the chair. That's not teaching her good things to do in school, right? So what you can actually do is flip the image. So if you hit Control and click, go to rotate, flip horizontally. And now she can still stand off to this right side and point where I want her to point. And, figure out how big or how small you want your Bitmoji. It really just depends on what room you're using and how big the items in your room are. Maybe you want a Bitmoji that is sitting down in the chair. So you can go here. Sometimes they're hard to find and it's really tricky with wording. But other times it will work great. So here's two sitting down. So I'm going to click her, drag her in, and again, she is facing the wrong way, so I need to flip her. So I'm going to Control click, rotate, flip horizontally. Now I can slide her back on the chair. Sometimes it always looks like their feet are kind of hanging off the chair and they're not really touching the ground. But there's only so much you can, do. So adjust it however you want. Maybe you team teach or something like that and you want two different teachers in there. That's up to you. You can borrow, ask them to send you Bitmojis to add into your picture. So that's pretty much it with Bitmoji. You can pick whatever one you want to insert it. The only other thing I could think about is if you wanted her behind the desk. So right now you see that she's in front of the desk. So that's where that order comes up again. So you can hit Control, go to order, and go back. You don't want to go backward because that will actually, I take that back. That took you all the way behind the background again. Usually it's the other way around. So if I go backward, and the shortcut for that is Command and the down arrow. Sometimes it takes a couple clicks. So like right now she's behind the plant. Now she's behind the poster. So sometimes it gets a little tricky because now you're like, well, I really don't want her behind the poster. Her fingers are getting cut off. So now you have to click on the poster, hit command in the back arrow, and that will send it. Once we see her fingers, there they are, we can stop. That will send it behind. So when you put things in like afterwards, that's why it can get a little bit tricky, and that's why a lot of the time people will save it as a background and with their Bitmoji. That way they don't have that issue. So those are a couple different things that you can do with your Bitmojis. There is a way now to animate Bitmojis and have them dance around. I think that's more like using the Facebook Bitmoji. But I haven't really played with that yet. So that's it for Bitmojis. We'll move on to something next.